This video is from San Francisco.
A stamped brick with ARR, and we know that what used to be there said T, car. It's TCARR. Look at this.
Huh.
You can see that there are still fully intact bricks in what is otherwise fully melted. Like that one right there.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Much of it is melted beyond recognition, but
That's
a lot
what it
of
is.
it, like this, is still obviously a wall.
Bro.
How old is this tree?
Right.
How long ago did this happen?
That's in San Francisco. I gotta go check it out.
Yes, definitely. You
all
need
brick,
to. Get the
and
drone.
It's all melted down like as if it was candle wax hit with a torch.
That is what that looks like, dude.
Rolling down channels.
Holy
Channels of
mackerel.
melted bricks. Like right there. Look at that. Still bricks sitting there, and that's the same kind of brick that this is, that's stamped.
This is the evidence, because there's a case of partial preservation of what was there. You know, because if you didn't find the bricks, you didn't see the little details of bricks in there, somebody would just say, oh, well, wind and water did this over 1 million years, right? They would say, oh, it was 15 billion years caused rocks to look like this. No, it took about probably 10 seconds of like the hottest thing you could possibly imagine, just burning something, and it literally melted like a candle melts. That's what you see there. Like, what happened in our recent past? I think it's very fascinating. When I really got curious about the western part of the United States and like stuff like the Valley of Fire, in my mind, I was thinking of the days of Noah, maybe. I was thinking maybe like sometime around like the days of Jesus, like thousands of years ago. But when you find stamped bricks in there, so that means there was a brick factory that made bricks, right? You know, so obviously I think even like the earliest brick factories were like in we're told, the mid 19th century. They had factories that made bricks en masse. So when did this thing melt like that?
Dude, I just looked up melted brick wall San Francisco. There ain't nothing about this, dude.
I got a video that goes right along with that.
Did you know that there's a secret city underneath Seattle? I went and toured it over the weekend, and I'm going to tell you everything I learned. The original city of Seattle is underneath the Seattle that we know now. It was founded in 1851, and they had a major problem: drainage. I mean, they had life preservers on every corner because you could literally drown just crossing the street. So after this huge fire basically burned down the entire city in 1889, the engineers had a solution to this problem: rebuild the city on top of itself. Using mining techniques like hydraulic sluicing, they literally rebuilt the city of Seattle 1 or 2 stories above the original storefronts. And they didn't just fill in the ground underneath, they reinforced it with brick walls and arches and left all of the original storefronts that are still there to this day. If you visited Seattle, you've probably noticed these skylights on the sidewalks, and these were meant to provide natural sunlight to the underground. So back then, during the day, these were normal businesses, and then at night, the original storefronts thrived. It became extremely easy to conceal crime underground, especially because all of the police and politicians were in on it and cashing out. So things like prostitution and gambling and speakeasies during Prohibition thrived up until around the 1970s, which was not that long ago.
Yeah, that is very, very, very fascinating. I gotta say, like, I know that in the town that I grew up in, there was a lot of tunnels. You know, these tunnels exist in multiple towns in multiple places, or these underground cities hidden. And you got to think, like, do you need tunnels to traffic booze? Because that's what they say a lot of these tunnels are for trafficking alcohol and drugs. But like, do you need tunnels to traffic drugs? No, you just put them in a box. What do you need tunnels for? You need tunnels to traffic humans.
Well, I think the tunnels were already there, so whatever they use them for is whatever they use them for. So they could use it for all kinds of nefarious reasons. But yet there are tunnel systems that are everywhere. Seattle. So you're telling me they started to build a city in a place that flooded like crazy. And their answer to flooding a city would be to build a city on top of the flooded city? Okay, so wouldn't it be all flooded underneath in the underground part? Right? That already flooded? So you're going to build on top of that. But wouldn't it just be all wet under there? Why wouldn't they just build somewhere else? Right? Like, this place is so valuable they have to build. I mean, why did they build Seattle in the first place? What was even there? A place that flooded a lot? They had life preservers on the street. Does anybody believe that garbage?
Why would they have life preservers on the street? Just like because random floods would come into the city or something? Like, what are they alluding to?
It's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. And they said, oh, they reinforced it and they put bricks and all this stuff down there. No, guys, like, that is when we talk about the mud flood. We talk about all that weird stuff that's been buried.
Yeah.
That stuff was obviously above ground, and now it's not. And what happened, what caused the stuff to sink, I don't know.